Good evening, everyone. Wish you the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem for a happy and peaceful Saturday evening. I'm Bante Jinananda from Hilda Javardhana Rame. Today we are going to begin our Sutta studies for 1 hour nearly, and we spend another 15 minutes if there are questions. So I would like to welcome you all to this 1 hour and 15 minutes Sutta study class. Our very purpose is to let ourselves to engage with the philosophical, psychological, and also doctrinal teachings of the Buddha so that we all can understand the teachings of the Buddha in our own experience. Most importantly, our effort is to get these beautiful Dhamma into our life by way of Sutta discussion. So those who join with us through Zoom can participate in the discussion by commenting and asking questions and also additions to Sutta studies. And those who join with us through YouTube and also live stream can participate in one way, that is only listening. So let me begin today's Sutta discussion by paying homage to the Buddha 3 times. And I'm going to recite the Namo Tassa 3 times. So in Pali and in English, and you may also join with me in respecting the Buddha. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Friends, the sutta we discussed today is Anapanasati Sutta. It is Sutta number 118 of the Majjhima Nikaya. After the last sutta discussion, which happened 2 weeks ago, I told you that we need to discuss about the Anapanasati because the last sutta we discussed, Maharahuluvada Sutta, centers on the questions put forward by Venerable Rahula to the Buddha about Anapanasati. So there I said I need to take the Anapanasati Sutta directly and engage with the thorough discussion. This is why we have the Anapanasati Sutta today. As I told you, Anapanasati is very common for many people. Those who know about the word of the Buddha in a in numerous ways know this meditation, Anapanasati. Even if you do not know one single discourse, you might have heard about this word Anapanasati. This shows how famous Anapanasati does this very Pali word. But how many of you know what exactly the Buddha, what the Buddha said in Anapanasati Sutta? So then this is why we take the sutta into our discussion. Before we move on to the Sutta Anapanasati, I just want to draw your attention to this fact that this Anapanasati is being explained by the Buddha in many places in the Tripitaka from different monasteries. They are recorded in Sangyutta Nikaya, connected discourses of the Buddha, Anguttara Nikaya, numerical discourses of the Buddha, and also Khuddaka Nikaya, miscellaneous section, and also in Digha Nikaya, you can find statement of Anapanasati, so that this is one of the important, very deep meditation. Anapanasati is important in many ways. It is one of the deepest meditation that covers all the aspect of the Dhamma. You know what? in number of suttas, Buddha explained to the monks that he also practiced anapanasati during his bodhisattva period, and he did this meditation just to got into jhana experiences and attained full enlightenment under the Bodhi tree on the day he attained full enlightenment. So anapanasati is the Buddha's way of meditation. Anapanasati is the way other great disciples, came to the higher training and also reached this mundane life to supramundane life. Anapanasati is therefore one of the common meditation that all the great disciples practice for their salvation, and when they want to meditate alone just for the sake of experiencing Nibbana, they did Anapanasati because it is one of the major meditation and it is applicable to each and everyone. I think you have heard about different character types in Buddhism as related to each and everyone. Shraddha, Buddhi, Vitarka, Raga, Lobha, Dvesha, Moha. These are the 6 type of characters that we found among humans. So some meditation subjects are not applicable for some characters. For example, those who have so much attachment or lust to someone or something would be given a subject of meditation about particular manasikara, because he or she has that strong attachment to a particular person or a thing, so that he should take the meditation subject to get that attachment and lust out of his mind, so that he is given a kind of meditation subject about the repulsiveness of the body, of the things he attached to. If we give this particular person another meditation subject, it doesn't work for him. Like that, we should select a particular meditation subject that fits for us. So Anapanasati in this regard is applicable to all the characters. It doesn't mean that everybody should do this for enlightenment. You can select whatever you want, but the area of our mind and body that Anapanasati covers is much more than many other subjects of meditation. Therefore, this clears everyone's mind from unnecessary things and takes the person into a perfect beginning of the meditation if they take this meditation as the karmasthana. I have a lot to share about this Anapanasati and also the particular sutta. So I try my best to unfold everything in relations to the sutta discussion. If not, we will definitely come across them over the course of sutta studies. As you know, this discourse is really important. Why? We all want to know what Dhamma, this sutta explained to us about Anapanasati and what exactly Anapanasati does for us in leading us to Nirvana. So let me begin by saying that this sutta is starting from some basic level of Anapanasati. When we comes to the very section of Anapanasati, then the way the Buddha unfold the way of Anapanasati is really interesting, because when we comes to the middle of the Anapanasati practice and to the end of the Anapanasati practice, we have done some sort of other things within the Anapanasati, but not what exactly we may think. In other words, when you practice Anapanasati meditation in full form, which means 16 steps, you have been already practiced the 4 foundation of mindfulness. When you practice Anapanasati in that sense, which means you have practiced 4 foundation of mindfulness, there you practice the 7 factors of enlightenment too. And when you practice 7 factors of enlightenment, Vijja Vimukti, the 2 important qualities of nirvana, has been brought up so that you are achieving nirvana at the end of Anapanasati. This means to us very clearly that Anapanasati, as the Buddha explained in this particular sutta, has 4 stages. The first stage, you put all the 16 steps into practice. Then in the second stage, you become aware of the 4 foundation of mindfulness in your practice. Then when you comes to the third stage, there you clear those 7 factors for enlightenment. So you see them in your mind, and then Vijja Vimutti also is understood very well. So the one who practiced the Anapanasati with these 4 stages, reaches to nirvana. It is very interesting. That's why this sutta is very deep and very significant too. However, before going to the Anapanasati steps, Buddha takes some time in the sutta to discuss some very important statement. Let me begin the sutta by reading some passages so that you can understand what these information, how they are related to our life, and what exactly the Buddha explained about the Sangha community as the teacher, how he became happy about his disciples. So all these things are there in the sutta. Let me begin. Thus I have heard on one occasion, the Buddha was living at Savatthi in the eastern park at the palace of Migara's mother, together with many very well-known elder disciples. So basically we find the Buddha was at the Savatthi in many discourses, but here he is at the in the Savatthi, but not at the greatest monastery Jetavana, but Migaramatu, which means Pubbarama, the first monastery at the eastern gate of the city. If you went to India, you can see some ruins of those monasteries, and Jetavanaram is very clear in the archaeological site, but Pubbarama is somewhat away from the Jetavanaram, but you can find some left over there as ruins. So imagine how prosperous the Savatthi city at that time with this kind of big monasteries. And if monasteries are bigger like this, how would that city, that palace and business places, and they were very, very, I think, beautiful and large, and there were many things to consider in that sense. So Buddha was at the Pubbarama when he delivered this discourse to a group of monks. So there were many good monks, there were many famous monks there. It is hard to see that those great disciples, all of them, stay with the Buddha together at one monastery. It happens once a while, because those who have attained to full enlightenment with many good skills travel far, distant places just to boost the energy of the monks and nuns and lay people for their well-being and happiness. Venerable Sariputta, Moggallana, Kassapa, Anuruddha, of course, Venerable Ananda was with the Buddha always. Those mentioned monks were traveling all around. Sometimes they met the Buddha after 1 year or 2 years. But here in this discourse, at the time he delivered the Anapanasati, there were many great monks. Let's see how many monks are there. The Venerable Sariputta, the Venerable Mahamoggallana, the Venerable Mahakassapa, the Venerable Mahakachayana, the Venerable Mahakottita, the Venerable Mahakappina, the Venerable Mahachunda, the Venerable Anuruddha, the Venerable Revata, the Venerable Ananda. Those are great names. many suttas are under these venerable monks. Otherwise, these monks made the reason for the Buddha to deliver some beautiful Dhamma, so that these names are, shining in the Sasana, even today, because of their contribution to the Sasana. Now, on that occasion, the elder bhikkhus had been teaching and instructing new bhikkhus. Some elder bhikkhus had been in teaching and instructing 10 bhikkhus, some 20, some 30, some 40, like that. And the new bhikkhus taught and instructed by the elder bhikkhus had achieved successive stages of high distinction. So at the time Buddha was at the Ubbarama monastery at the Eastern Park, Buddha saw those great monks, and some of them were engaging in instructing young monks or any monks who had not already, done their duty, and the number of monks whom one of those great monks instructed was around 10, 20, 30, 40, and like that. So those young monks or monks who did not, attain to any stage of enlightenment got the instruction, and they were going to different places and meditated or just discussed the Dhamma, something like that. It's for me, as a monastic, can imagine this situation very well, because we also had some such situation at the monastic colleges. Once we get and the instruction about different subjects, we would definitely isolate and memorize and think about. So I can imagine this situation very well, and understand how beautiful it is. On that occasion, the Uposatha day of the 15th, on the full moon night of the Pavarana ceremony, the Buddha was seated in the open, surrounded by the Sangha of bhikkhus. Then, so that is the Uposatha day, which means the full moon day. Uposatha means monks and nuns, even lay people, stop usual typical works of their lives and come to a religious, spiritual places where they can get free their mind from all these duties and responsibilities, stay and calm and peaceful. Out of Buddhism, we can see that many people come to their monasteries and stay away from usual conversation. On the full moon day, the influence from the moonlight is a matter for each and everyone. It is a matter for humans as well as animals, and also to the nature. On the full moon day, closer to full moon day, near full moon day, those days with the moonlight, some sort of changes happen to human body, human thinking, emotions. Some of those who experience difficult, sicknesses, the level of their sickness increases a lot. So that the tradition has been built to come to one place by each and everyone, stay away from usual talks, usual work, and usual pattern of life. So when the Buddha started the Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni order, he advised those monks and nuns to stay in one place together, reciting Patimokka, reciting any Vinaya rules, reciting the Dhamma as a way of practicing Uposatha. So Uposatha means being closer to the Dhamma, being closer to the Vinaya, and being closer to each Kalyana Mitta. So on that day, Pavarana day, which means monks and nuns who are higher ordained, recited the Patimokka, which means all the rules and regulations monks have So even now we do it. Last month, before Vasana periods began, we also did Havarana virtually. So some monks come together and we did it. So that is additional information for you. You never can see that because we never involved any lay people or even a Samanera for such recitation, Patimokkha. So you never be able to see such a Vinaya recitation by monks at all, because lay people, Upasaka and Upasika, and even Samanera, novice monks are not allowed to enter into that. The Buddha was seated in the open air, surrounded by the Sangha of bhikkhus. So Buddha and monks now sit together in the open air, out of the monastery hall, I guess, in the under a tree maybe. That's why they could see this full moon at the night. Then surveying the silent Sangha of bhikkhus, he addressed them thus. So Buddha, so that everybody is in mindful practice, no words at all, no conversation. So then Buddha broke the silence and said this: because I am content with this progress. My mind is content with this progress. So arouse still more energy to attain the unattained, to achieve the unachieved, to realize the unrealized. I shall wait here at Savatthi for the Komudi full moon of the fourth night. So Buddha was so happy about the nature of monks now, because everybody is meditating, everybody is committed to their practice, so that he is really happy about what has been done by monks. So it is very interesting, because we don't see that many religious teachers are so happy about their students. And with regard to the Buddha's Buddha's attitude about monks, he always became happy about those many great disciples and other disciples, because they were up to the Vinaya and Dhamma. Some attained to the highest of spirituality, some are working well with for that. So Buddha was so happy about it. If there were misbehaved monk, did the Buddha became unhappy? No, it doesn't mean that he became unhappy with anyone who behave bad or negative, because the Buddhas never became happy like us and unhappy like us. They have gone beyond that level, even Arahants. So what they say is that they are pleased about what the monks do, and that is because he knew that all these disciples have achieved some state beyond suffering. Because of the country, no, the Buddha said that I'm going to stay here in the Savatthi for another month. So until such a for a day. So monks in that area then became so happy that, oh, Buddha is with us for such a long period of time. So we are okay to go and ask any questions like that. So the bhikkhus of the countryside heard the Buddha will wait there at Savatthi for until the full moon day, and the bhikkhus of the countryside left in due course of Savatthi to see the Blessed One. So those who were away from the Buddha came to know that Buddha is going to wait there in Savatthi for another month until next 4 day. So monks from different places started coming to Savatthi to see the Buddha. Elder bhikkhu still more intentively taught and instructed new bhikkhus. Some elder bhikkhus taught and instructed 10 and 20, 30, 40, something like that. So they were very dedicated to make others influence in the positive way for the Dhamma and Vinaya. On that occasion, now we have come to the Uposatha day. On that occasion, opposite day of the 15th, the full moon night of Kaumudi, full moon of the 4th month, the Blessed One, the Buddha, was sitting, was seated in the open air and started speaking after, sorry, serving the bhikkhu. Bhikkhus, this assembly is free from prattle. This assembly is free from chatter. It consists purely of hardwood. Such is this hunger of bhikkhus. Such is this assembly. Such an assembly as Sangha of Bhikkhus, such is the assembly. Such an assembly as is worthy of gift, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of reverential salutation, an incomparable field of merits, merits for the world. Such is the Sangha of Bhikkhus, such is this assembly, such an assembly that a small gift given to it becomes great, and a great great give, great. Such is the Bhikkhu of Sangha. So in this passage, in the Sutta, Buddha talks about the success of his Sangha. The Sangha of bhikkhus, not bhikkhunis here at all, only male bhikkhus, work so hard to make their effort successful in the nirvana, so that Buddha is so happy about it. We don't see this kind of statement of the Buddha quite often. It doesn't mean that his bhikkhus and bhikkhunis and other people were unsuccessful, but he would not talk like this. The tone of the Buddha is so happy, so accomplished. That's what I feel. So he admired all these great monks and the student under great monks and everyone there. Then in this Sangha of Bhikkhu, there are bhikkhus who have arahants with 10 destroyed, who have lived the holy life, done what had to be done, laid down the burdens, reached their own goal, destroyed the fetter of beings, and are completely liberated through final knowledge. Such bhikkhus are there in this Sangha of bhikkhus. See, Buddha said clearly that there are bhikkhus who have attained full enlightenment. They have done their duties. So here we see some qualities of a mind of arhat. In that mind, we don't see any defilement. We don't see anything for them to be done again. They have done everything for the nirvana. There is no change happen in their mind, but the physical body. So such arahants are there in this Sangha. Buddha confirm it here. In this Sangha of bhikkhus, there are bhikkhus who, with the destruction of 5 lower fetters, are due to reappear spontaneously, and they are attain final nibbana without ever returning from that world. Such bhikkhus are there in this Sangha of bhikkhus. Now the Buddha is talking about the non-returners, anagamis. In this Sangha of bhikkhus, I can see that there are many anagamis, and their nature is discussed in short. What is the nature of anagami? If they cannot attain full enlightenment in this very life, they passed away as anagamis, and they reborn not in human conditions, not in divine condition, but in a particular Brahma world and couple of Brahma world, and they attain to full enlightenment there. That's why they are called non-returner. Non-returner to human world, non-returner as a divine being. They never reborn as a human beings or divine beings, and their status is somewhat different from others. So the Buddha said there that there are anagamis in this Sangha of bhikkhus. That's what he was telling. In the Sangha of bhikkhus, there are bhikkhus who, with the destruction of, I just want to tell something there before I move on to next. So the very nature of arahants is that they destroyed the 10 fetters, 10 sangyojana. What are the 10 fetters or sangyojana? Sakkaya Ditti, personality view. Vichikicha, skeptical doubts. Silabbata Paramasa, believing and practicing on wrong practices and rituals. Kamaraga, desire for sensual pleasures. And Patiga, ill will. And then we have 5 more. Ruparaga, desire for form. Aruparaga, desire for formless. Ruparaga, Aruparaga, man, conceit. Uddacha, restlessness and worry, and Avijja, ignorance. These are the 10 fetters or Sangyojana, and the Arahants have destroyed all of them. When it comes to Anagami, destroyed the first 5, 5 fetters or Sangyojana out of 10. What are the Sangyojana or fetters he or she has destroyed? Sakkaya Ditti, self-personality view. Vichikicha, skeptical doubt. Silabbata Paramasa, believing or practicing on wrong rituals and observances, and then sensual desire and also ill will. So these 5 fetters are called Orambagya Sangyojana, which means if anyone has these 5, their destination after this life would be an unhappy place. And Uddambagya Sangyojana are the other 5. So those who have destroyed the 5 fetters, first 5 fetters, becomes Anagamis or non-returners, but they have the next 5 fetters. Anagamis or non-returners always have the second 5 fetters, but they are going to destroy them in the future. If they reborn in Brahma realm, and if they continue their life in such a way. So Uddambagya means those who have only 5 second fetters, they would definitely go up to the Brahma realm. That's why they are called Uddambagya. So that's what I wanted to tell. Here in the Sangha of Bhikkhus, there are Bhikkhus who, with the destruction of 3 fetters and with the attainment of lust, hate, and delusion, are once returning once to this world to make an end of suffering. Such Bhikkhus are there in the Sangha of Bhikkhus. So the third level, this level is called Sakadagami, which means once returner. They come to the Kamaloka, just the mundane world, the world where humans and divine beings live is called Kamaloka. The Sakadagami after that comes to this world once, and in that one lifetime, he or she had to attain full enlightenment. So Sakadagami, to become a Sakadagami, we have to destroy the first 3 fetters, Sakkaya Ditti, Vichikicha, Silabbata Paramasa, and destruction of the half of the 4th and 5th fetters, Kamaraga and Patika. It's called attenuation or release, cutting off of the major, part of the Kamaraga and also Patika, the Vyapada, sorry. So that is what Sakadagami means. And then but the Buddha said, in the Sangha of Bhikkhus, there are Bhikkhus who, with the destruction of 3 fetters, are stream enterers, no longer subject to perdition, bound, headed for enlightenment. Such Bhikkhus are there in the Sangha of Bhikkhus. So now Buddha is talking about the Sotapanna. I can see that Sotapanna Bhikkhus are there in the Sangha of Bhikkhus, and they have come to that level by destroying first 3 fetters. The very important thing is that they never reborn in any unhappy places such as animal kingdom, ghost, and then hell, and then the asura demigod, kind of god that have so many bad things in their life. So these Sotapanna, if they die like that, never reborn in these 4 realms, but they reborn in the human or divine conditions, but maximum for 7 lifetime, because they have destroyed so many causes of defilement, causes of suffering, so that they cannot continue their sansaric journey more than 7. They have to at least attain to enlightenment within that period of lifetime. These are some of the information you already know, but I just wanted to let you know that they are included in the sutta because Buddha admires his Sangha by mentioning that these 4 great disciples, 4 types of disciples are there in the Sangha of bhikkhus. In this Sangha of bhikkhus, there are bhikkhus who have by devoted to the development of 4 foundation of mindfulness, and that is very interesting. Now, Buddha's approach is such that he explained those who have not attained to Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat level are also mentioned by way of saying the 37 factors of enlightenment. He said, there are monks here. Let me get that. Yeah. Such bhikkhus is the nature of monks in this community of monks, because there are in this community of monks those who dwell devoted to the cultivation of the 4 foundation of mindfulness. Apart from these 4, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat, there are monks who practice 4 foundation of mindfulness as their main meditation subject. Their very focus is Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, and Dhammanupassana. And there are bhikkhus in this community of monks who practice the cultivation of 4 right exertion, 4 right effort, the effort to abandon the opportunities of defilement, and the abandon, unwholesomeness, and trying their best to cultivate wholesomeness and maintaining those cultivated wholesome nature. These are the 4 exertion, and there are bhikkhus who take these 4 exertion as their meditation subject and they practice. So 4 foundation and 4 right exertion are 2 sets of 37 factors for enlightenment. And there are bhikkhus in this community of monks who practice, who cultivate their mind on 4 bases for spiritual powers. Chanda, Chitta, Virya, Vimansa. So these are the 4 bases of spiritual power. So if you develop Chanda, which means great desire for the Saddhamma, for the enlightened factors, it's not attachment, but the kind of determination to practice all the spiritual qualities for enlightenment. And then with Chanda, you have Chitta, so you have that great interest, and now you make turn your mind to working on it. Then Virya, again, kind of spiritual energy is put forward for that purpose. Then Vimansa, investigation. So these are the 4 spiritual powers. So that is also is the subject of meditation for some monks in that gathering that the Buddha talks about. Then we have already talked about 12 things of 37 factors of enlightenment, for foundation of mindfulness, for right exertion, and then 4 bases of spiritual power. Now Buddha continues, in this community of monks, there are bhikkhus who practice the 5 spiritual faculties. Shraddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya are the 5 spiritual faculties, and some monks take these 5 as their main focus and practice meditation. And there are monks in this community of Sangha who practice for spiritual powers, earlier spiritual faculties, now spiritual power. There's a difference between the 5 spiritual faculties and 5 powers. Names are the same, but the way you take them would be different. When we say spiritual faculties, it means domain. Like Shraddha is a kind of quality in your mind, and it is the nature of you, and it's a kind of behavior of your mind. And then Virya, Sati, Virya, perseverance, Sati, mindfulness, Samadhi, concentration, and Panya. So when you practice these 5 with so much effort and interest or enthusiasm, they become power, they become bala in your mind. So that's why we have 2 sets in the 37 factors of enlightenment as 5 spiritual faculties and also 5 spiritual powers. Buddha continues, in this Sangha of in this community of monks, I can see that there are monks who practice meditation on 7 factors of enlightenment. Some take 7 factors for enlightenment as their main focus for reaching nirvana, and some takes the noble eightfold path as their main focus and practice meditation. So whoever takes this set of teaching of the 37 of factors of enlightenment, of course, has been taken the same thing. Suppose we have 7 people in the group. So one is focusing the 4 right exertion. The other one has taken the 7 factors of enlightenment. Do you think that two people have taken totally different thing and go in different directions? No. When you take the 4 right exertion and practice your meditation, you would definitely come across the 7 factors of enlightenment too. And if you take the 7 factors of enlightenment as your main focus, you of course take the 4 right exertions too. So you come across them. And both of these, disciples, of course, touch upon the other set of teaching of the 37 factors of enlightenment too. So you do not want to go and take each and every Dhamma fact in the 37 factors of enlightenment for practice, for particular practice. Take one or one set, there you are, and you complete the Dhamma. Just like the ocean, right? So when you consider the 37 factors for enlightenment, it's just like the vast ocean. You don't want to go to each beaches to get the impression that you are in the ocean and whatever you want to see with the ocean. You just go and take some water and drink and taste and enjoy the water, right? Like that, you don't want to understand each Dhamma elements of the Buddha's teaching to cut off craving and come to enlightenment. So, having said these 37, Buddha continues here, such is the nature of the monks in this community of monks, because there are in this community of monks who practice loving kindness as their meditation subject. So Buddha did not finish his statements by saying that monks are there who attain full enlightenment, Anagami, Sakadagami, Sotapanna, and those who haven't attained to any stage of enlightenment, they practice meditation on 37 factors of enlightenment. Now Buddha continues, there are monks who practice loving kindness as their meditation. There are monks who practice compassion as their meditation subject. There are monks who practice meditation based on mudita, sympathetic joy. And there are monks in this community who practice the Dhamma based on upekka. And then there are monks who practice their meditation based on asubha, repulsiveness of the body, or foulness of the body. And then Buddha continues, there are monks who practice meditation. There are monks in this community, in this Sangha gathering, who practice meditation on impermanence. And finally, Buddha said that there are monks in this community who practice meditation on in and out breathing. Friends, this is remarkable. This whole information is very important. Why? We do not find any discourse in the entire Tripitaka that the Buddha speak this number of karmasthana. You heard about Visuddhimagga, and it mentioned 40 subject of meditation, Samasatalis karmasthana. But in Anapanasati Sutta, Buddha recognizes 44 subject of meditation, 44 karmasthana. What are they? 37 factors of enlightenment, 37 there, and then 4 Brahma Vihara, so now 41. Then we have Asubha, then we have impermanence, for Asubha is 42, and impermanence is 43, and Anapanasati is the 44. So this is the most number of karmasthana mentioned by the Buddha in a discourse, right? That is very significant. Now we have Anapanasati, as we always talk about, but we have only 15 minutes. I try my best to explain them one by one. Try your best to understand. Of course, you have a background now to understand what Anapanasati is. If you read commentaries and sub-commentaries and interpretation on Anapanasati, you may know a lot, but I encourage you to practice Anapanasati than reading, because when you read a book on Anapanasati, you may be able to know something, but many things are there uncleared for you because your practice is not that deep. But if your practice on Anapanasati is widespread and profound, you may understand many things by reading commentaries, sub-commentaries, and interpretation. And if you read some books that have not written well, you of course understand that as well. And if you really practice Anapanasati into a certain level, you of course know what rubbish some people say about Anapanasati too. Because a lot of misconception are there about Anapanasati in today's world, because a lot of people start their meditation with 10 days, 15 days in different part of the world, and they claim as they are teachers, so that they continue their practice with others. And many people say many things about Anapanasati, but they are not towards the Buddha's goal. Buddha's intention of teaching Anapanasati is to show how one progress into nirvana. There you can see how one develops for foundation of mindfulness through Anapanasati, and then 37 factors of for enlightenment through Anapanasati, as well as for foundation. And Buddha showed clearly how Vijja and Vimutti are taken as manifestation of the Anapanasati meditation and leading to nirvana. But Anapanasati is being practiced by many individuals today as a means to overcome boredom and stress, frustration. They want to let go of that unpleasant feeling and come to pleasant feeling. This is the only reason why many people meditate today. I have observed this very quite a lot, because those who practice Anapanasati would be able to bestow that compassionate mind, kindness. They would be able to bear the pain and impermanence, dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self also are some goals within the Anapanasati. So those who practice Anapanasati quite often would be able to get those points in their understanding. But many people do not know about that. It means that people practice the first tetra of Anapanasati, which means they are very good in looking at the breath, long or short. Then they see that this breath is going into be a subtle one, and they feel now kind of relaxation, and they are so happy. So that's all they do in the Anapan. That is the very basic step of Anapanasati. So let's understand the concept of Anapanasati with this discourse, and it is our personal responsibility to reach to higher level through it, to get jhana, to get to complete samadhi, and also practice vipassana in the Anapanasati, because Anapanasati is clear meditation which culminates both samatha and vipassana aspects of the Dhamma. So when so we would be able to do vipassana in the Anapanasati in order to develop those higher principles like Satipatthana and also Sattabojjhanga and Vijjavimukti and so forth. So let me begin with this. Bhikkhus, when the mindfulness of the in and out breathing. Now Buddha mentioned all these 44, and now at last he said mindfulness of in and out breathing is another subject of meditation that some monks take in this community of bhikkhus. So now what this Anapanasati is cultivated, often developed, it is of great fruit and great benefit. The same thing the Buddha said to Venerable Rahula in Maharahuluvada Sutta. So if when somebody take the Anapanasati meditation in full form, the benefit we could get is so much, is huge. When the mindfulness of the in and out breathing is cultivated and often developed, it brings the four focuses of mindfulness, four foundation of mindfulness to perfection. Buddha said, when the four focuses of mindfulness are cultivated and often developed, they bring the seven factors of enlightenment to perfection. When the seven factors of enlightenment are cultivated and often developed, they bring true knowledge, vijja, perfect knowledge, vijja, and liberation, vimukti, to perfection. See, Anapanasati is the main ground, one of the key ground for all of us to stand to perfect certain practices like Satipatthana, like seven factors of enlightenment. It does not mean that you take you take another direct tour or road or path of your meditation and go to nirvana. You can do it. So there are monks who never practice Anapanasati and reach to nirvana, right? But when you go with Anapanasati, it covers many things. It's just like doing a double or triple major, like in your academic studies. So not only you do one area of study, so you can commit your time and you have enough money, so you take many courses and you do double degrees, triple, and many. So your knowledge would be incomparable to others, and the opportunities you get in the academic study as well as job market would be much high. Like that, Anapanasati covers a lot. That's what Buddha said here in a simple language. And how, because is the mindfulness of the in and out breathing develops, and how it is often cultivated so that it is great food and great benefit. So now Buddha is going to explain the Anapanasati in details and show how it helps disciples to reach nirvana with almost all the qualities. Friends, I let you ask any questions if you have any about Anapanasati, either related to what I said, what I read here, or any concept in your mind about Anapanasati, because we have only 20 minutes roughly for today's session. So I take the 16th step of Anapanasati in the next class so that we can go into details, because in this is a practical, thing. A lot of people come to know about Anapanasati not through reading, but through practice. Right? Some concept like anicca, dukkha, they come to know about those concepts through reading, not through practice. So this is a very quite significant aspect of the Dhamma. So that we have to dive into first step, second step, third step, fourth, and first tetra, then second tetra, the relationship between the first and second, and how one can reach, reach to the second one from the first, and what exactly happened. So there are many information in that. So I would like to take them next week. But for the moment, you may, ask any questions or, explain your concern about it. So take your time, please. While you take time and get ready for any concern, I just want to share this, that in the Ichanangala Sutta, one of the discourses in Samyutta Nikaya with regard to Anapanasati section, Buddha said that when I do not walk, when I do not sleep, when I do not, explain the Dhamma to fourfold disciples, when I'm not urinating, defecating, when I'm not doing anything, I would stay in Anapanasati Samadhi. When the Buddha has a free time, in other words, he practiced Anapanasati, and he could reach to Samadhi through Anapanasati very quickly, quicker than anyone else. So he said that therefore this Anapanasati is Tathagata Ranjana, Tathagata Yana, Dibbayana, Brahmayana. Buddha has given these special words for Anapanasati, not any other meditation. This is Tathagata Vihana. This is the way of the Tathagata. This is Brahmayanang itipi. This is the way of Brahma. Brahma means not those, divine beings in Brahma realm. Brahma is a word for Arahants. So those who attained full enlightenment is called Brahma. So this is the way of them. And Tathagata itipi, Brahmayanang itipi, Tathagata itipi. So these are the words he used for Anapanasati. So then in another sutta, Buddha saw Venerable Mahakappina was sitting in full calm, posture like this, and everybody else is busy with just looking at somebody else and talking with other monks silently in a particular manner. But Venerable Kappina was completely silent, no move at all. It just like he was just like a statue. We cannot see a statue moves, and Venerable Mahakappina too. Then Buddha showed Mahakaccana to other monks and said that, say, Mahakappina is such a solid meditator because he practiced Anapanasati. So friends, when you practice Anapanasati as your karmasthana, the discipline you get is much more deeper and solid and stronger. That is what Buddha emphasized there. So Anapanasati is such a deep meditation because it is a invisible, untouchable, physical aspect. The breathing is untouchable and invisible physical aspect. because it is manifested when the air touches the nostril and when it goes in and comes out. So physical body is supported and existed and continues to work because of the help of the breath. If the breath stops, as you know, there is no human to talk to you as well, and there are no people in this sutta study class too. So we all rely on the breath. Therefore, kaya sankara, very word Buddha gave for breathing is kaya sankara, which means fabricate. The breath fabricates the body. Therefore, it is a conditional state. So breath is conditional, and the body is conditional too because of the breath. So that when you focus the ana means in breath, apana means out breath. The Pali word is so useful. It is a combination of two words, ana, in breath, apana, out breath. So when you become mindful of breathing process with both in breath and out breath, what has happened there, what is happening there, what will happen there is that your mind does not want to hang on to any form, any sounds, any taste, any smell, any tangible experience, and so on. So your mind has been given a particular task, that is watching in breath and out. In the text, in the commentary, in the primary sources, we don't see that the Buddha asks us to breathe intentionally, breathe with some effort, because this body knows how to take the breath in and release it. Why do we need to do it purposely? So you do not want to create a particular situation in your body and mind, body particularly, just to do this meditation. It happens always. The examples the Buddha gave about anapanasati in the Satipatthana is quite significant. He said, two people standing both sides, and in the middle of them there is a huge wood, and they got that and one is dragging this way and the other one is dragging this way. That's how they cut the wood. So when suppose you are sitting in this side and drag it toward this, so the other one, do not push it, do not hold hard. So what he was doing, just to make sure the show is going towards this direction without any problem. And then so at the end, what is happening there is this man drag the so this way and the other man help it, and this when the other person drag it to his direction, the other person also. So like that, you at the end cut the wood. So if you look at these two people and their function, you will see like this, because their hands and the body moves like that. Similarly, the breath touches the nostril and it goes in, and within a very short period of time, it starts turning out, going out. And again, with a short gap, there is another breath coming in, and you feel it. The sensation of the in-breath and out-breath is clearly visible. So your mind was busy with many things before that, but now your mind is only watching this constant in-breath, flow of in-breath and out-breath. So as a result, your mind gets kind of disciplined. Okay, I have to stay here. That is the only thing I should do this now. So slowly your mind get used to it. Now, when the mind settled there, when the attention settled, when the awareness established there on the breath, you feel the entire body. You feel the mind, you feel the feeling, you feel everything in the mind and body progressively, so that you feel your mind has stopped wandering, which means you like this idea that this is called this is called attaining to jhana. So it happens in the anapanasati steps. So let me keep them this information for the next class, because it goes on, and it is linking to other aspect of the Dhamma, so that I would stop here. So do you have any concern, questions and clarification? Please take time. We have only less than 10 minutes. Yes, I can see some raised hand. Janaki Balasuriya, could you please unmute your mic and speak?
Yes, Bhante, Tervan Sarai. You were explaining about samadhi as concentration, but to me, samadhi is a state of relaxation or tranquility, because anapanasati itself, now you explained how it's being done. It's unintentional because it's a natural process. Even though we want to stop it, we can't, because it happens automatically. So it's unintentional, as well as it is effortless, because we are not taking any effort to breathe. So the samadhi is a state that we achieve. So it can't be concentration. It should be what I think is, it's a state of relaxation or tranquility, and the mind is very much relaxed in that position. So and it comes with wisdom as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the question, and it has some questions in it. Yes, breathing is a natural process, definitely. And why do we take this natural process into our concentration is to tame our mind and discipline it from wandering nature. So that's why we focus. Of course, when we see the breath, our mind look at it, and as a result of that, breath also shows its variation, like in breath, deep breath and short breath, and then we have kind of subtle nature, subsiding, its gross nature of the breath is visible as well. So breathing doesn't stop at all in any stage or stages or stage of anapanasati. What happens to us in this meditation, when we look at it, our mind develops, as you said, tranquility and calmness, so that we can see the breath happenings all the time while we have the samadhi qualities. So samadhi, of course, is one pointedness, is the state of tranquility, and it's state of kind of calming, soothing mind. What exactly samadhi is, that it doesn't associate anything that comes through senses at all. It doesn't mean that you never remember the Buddha statue, your son, daughter. In samadhi, you may remember all these good people around you, but your mind does not get any disturbances out of this remembrance of anything you did, anything you are going to do, because you have that control in your mind. You have that particular one-pointedness. One-pointedness means your mind is well controlled. Suppose you have one-pointedness and you want to read a book, and your mind is attached to reading the books. That's all. In the book, in the reading, you of course see all these details. Perhaps you are reading about the Buddha's great effort to tame Nalagiri. So you see Nalagiri comes and Venerable Ananda intervene, and what the Buddha said, and that those pictures are going on in your mind, but no any other thoughts are there, because your mind is pointed there, your mind is focused there. That kind of nature are there in the samadhi. So when you practice anapanasati, you really see the breath going in and comes out. That's why we have assa sissami iti sikkati, passa sissami iti sikkati. of each 16 steps, each 32 steps, when we take them as single steps. You see this in-breath and out-breath, but your prominent focus switch from breath to Piti Patisangvedi, Sukha Patisangvedi. They are jhana qualities, they are samadhi qualities. When you come to the second tetra of Anapanasati, you have Piti Patisangvedi, Asasisami Sikati, which means your prominent focus is Piti, rapture. It is a jhana quality, it is a samadhi quality. In samadhi, we can say that samadhi is tranquility, samadhi is calmness, samadhi is what you call happiness, sukha. So, but when we explain those samadhi qualities, what we have is piti, passaddhi, then sukha. Those are the nature of samadhi. So, while you are focusing the breath in the background of your mind, the prominent quality you focus there is piti, rapture. That's why piti patisangvedi asasissami sikkati, piti patisangvedi pasasissami sikkati. So you feel that joy, you feel that calmness. At the same time, since your meditation subject is breathing, you see the breath is going on in and out in a gentle, smooth way. So let's go to the Chittanupassana, the third tetra of Anapanasati. There we focus Chitta Patisangvedi Asasisam. You are well aware of your mind while you see the in-breath and out-breath function well. Then some Abhippa Modayan Chittang Asasisami Sikkati, Pasasisami Sikkati. You see that how delightful your mind is, and you see the breath in the background. My simple statement here is that when you do well with the first tetra, the capacity of your mind into peace and happiness develop further, so that you can see the breath clearly and also those important samadhi qualities in your mind. So there is no one for you to have close by to tell that you experience joy, happiness there, because you feel it. No, you want to get some instruction if you need to go further up to the Vijja Vimutti and those level of enlightenment. But you are self-taught there that this is joy, this is tranquility, this is sukha, happiness, this is rapture, and so on. Because in the sama, when you reach to second tetra, third tetra, and being able to see the feeling as it is and the mind as it is, which means you are in the samadhi level. Your concern sounds like the anapanasati is something else and samadhi, achieving tranquility, is something else. But having said, that concern in my mind, I was trying to answer that anapanasati, help us reach samadhi, definitely tranquility, and we have to understand how these steps should be practiced by culminating samadhi experiences. Now, if I didn't answer your questions enough, please ask it again.
No, exactly. You answered it really very well, because I was a little bit confused when you used the words concentration, because actually what I understood it as, it should be focus rather than a concentration, focusing on that aspect in order to reach this tranquility or the relaxation of the mind, or even as we say, the chitta ekagata. So I think that's what you explained. So so if we use the words concentration, I think it is a bit misleading because it doesn't explain it completely. That's what I said, that Bhante. So thank you so much. And
you're very welcome. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
If I may add to what she was discussing with you, just for clarification. Now, when you said reading a book, also there's a samadhi. When you go to dhyana, also there's a samadhi. When you go to the four states like the cessation of all the fritters, there's another samadhi. So samadhi is probably a term that we might latch on to with different opinions of the way you look at it. Because the samadhi that you have in the attainment through the four, like Sovan Sakudagam, is one type of samadhi, which is not a pointedly a personal thing, in the sense that you have broken the Sakaditya, etc. But even reading a book also you have samadhi. Is that correct?
Why not? When you go to kill a bird, you have samadhi too.
That's
because
right.
you keep the gun without moving it. You take the point. And how about if you catch a horse or any animal? You have to have some, but it is not samma samadhi.
That's right. Yes.
So suppose you are reading the news article about political changes in Afghanistan, or you read about an article about Olympic, Paralympic. It's not samma samadhi. It is a kind of focus that your mind has bound with the fact. So that is not samma samadhi. We talk about samma samadhi, right? Samma samadhi always deals with wholesome dhamma. When you have samma samadhi, there shouldn't be kamachanda, vyapada, tinamidda, uddacha, kukkucha, vichikecha, right? So with samma samadhi, you don't have these 5 hindrances. But when you try to kill a bird by shooting, you have sensual pleasure and you have anger present in your mind. When you read a general article, like we said, you would like somebody to win over, and you would be liking somebody to lose the game. And so you might have some sort of hindrances in your mind with this kind of focus. Suppose some people talk about looking at the sun set and sun rising, sitting at the edge of a mountain on top of somewhere, and that's gorgeous. And when you walk in the forest in a beautiful summer with no so much temperature, you might say that, oh, it's beautiful. Those happiness are sensual pleasures, and the concentration you have there to the elephant moving, the waterfalls, and the calm still water would be sensual pleasures, kama chand.
Yes, correct, Amini. That's what I was. You're right. That's what I was trying to. I mean, the samadhi word doesn't encompass a total whole area of everything comes under that word, because samadhi can apply to even studying or whichever aspect you look at it. But the samma samadhi is the samadhi that a person who attains the 4 states. Is that the way you?
I didn't address that part in your first question. Where those who attain to samadhi without sotapanna, sakadagami, and agami is quite similar to those samadhi status, though that those enlightened people at it. But there is a difference too, because as a I would say ordinary person is still not reached to sotapanna, you attain to samadhi experiences, first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and of course you are in a super state. And the one who attained to sotapanna also attained to first jhana, second jhana, and his approach, his level of catching the samadhi qualities and the level he experienced would be different, because he is called lokuttara. He has already stepped onto unchangeable moment of his mind with nirvana. He has done a lot in the training, in the Dhamma and Vinaya. But the one who have not gone beyond the ordinary level still attain to jhana, but he also experienced those things, but in a different way, right? Then Buddha also attained to first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, but we cannot reach to his level of first jhana, second jhana, though we attain to first jhana and second jhana and so forth.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So yeah, in order to attain to first Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat level, one has to have samadhi quality. Sometimes we are not clear that some people attain to first jhana, second jhana, third jhana in order to get into so on, because you listen to a Dhamma talk and you attain to Sotapanna. You attain to Sakadagami, you attain to Anagami. Some people attain to Arahantship while listening. So we do not see from the text that they reach to first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and then cut off defilement to reach to that enlightened state. They had samadhi quality in a short, suppose there is a student who takes time and read all the books of one course, and like that he or she completes all the courses for a degree, and he takes more time and complete the degree. But there would be a very smart student who quickly go through all the section, all the books, all the materials of the degree, and quickly got the degree into his hand. My example would not be that great, but what I'm trying to say is that some people get the samadhi quality as a whole and then cut off all the defilement. For example, Daruchirya, we did not see he meditated under a teacher, bhikkhu, or any great disciple, but he was doing kind of meditation throughout samsara. As a result, he had developed the 5 spiritual faculties up to the highest level. He needed only a kind of seed of enlightenment, and then he quickly get into that. So that we can see that some people got their maturity by many ways, and that maturity helped them to get the samadhi quality only to reach to enlightened state. So your question unfolds some other sections as well. So such as some people do not want to go into details of jhana because there is panya vimutta. Some people do not reach to samadhi in details. I mean in details, but they complete the samadhi section of the noble eightfold path. Nobody can avoid it. Nobody can samadhi. Nobody can avoid samadhi in attainment to Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and everybody has to go through that. But some do not go into details. All right, so it's close to 9:30. I might finish this Sutta discussion today because it's we have a lot to do after this, and I might join with another discussion for 2 hours after 30 minutes break. So I just want to tell you that this is really good. And those who have been meditating on Anapanasati will understand more. And those who are really interested on Anapanasati with reading and listening would definitely get more. And those who do not know anything about Anapanasati before this, of course, get more. And most importantly, practice Anapanasati on your own right now, tomorrow. Don't wait. When you go to bed, do some Anapanasati. But I'm not saying that Anapanasati is being practiced in lying down posture or any other posture except sitting. But try to think about it. And the more you do on Anapanasati, the better understanding come to you next time. Having said that, I wish you the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem, and may this Kusala Chitta you develop during this discussion be with you to be away from any threat of COVID, and may your relatives be well, happy and peaceful too, and may all living beings be well, happy and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.